Good morning, or is it afternoon? Yeah, it's afternoon. Okay. I couldn't sleep last night, so for me it's 9 a.m. But for everybody else it's afternoon. I'm gonna do a general energies reading, and I'm gonna use about 5 decks, so I'm just gonna go through them right now. Choose the cards. I hope everybody's doing well today. I did a live reading at night a couple nights ago, and I enjoyed doing them at that time too, partly because I'm more awake. But but in some ways it's easier to plan to do one earlier in the day. But I'll try to do some more evening ones too. You can also tell me your preference for like what time is good for you or what you recommend. Okay, I guess there's just one of those cards. So I have the Hermetic Tarot, the Rumi deck, the Golden Universal Tarot. The energy feels a bit like thicker today. Sometimes like I specialize in distance healing and with a psychic reading, because I do psychic healing as well. So I pick up a lot like while I'm healing a client. And lately I've been sending a good energy to just the world in general and doing more of these readings to give back and like hopefully bring some sort of peaceful something. Because like we all kind of need that right about now with all these major changes. And yeah, like even in difficult times, there was always someone making like a cool poem or book. Or if you think of like George Orwell, already 1984, he's like really sick, writing his book in, was it a house in Scotland or something, like a kind of bad weather place. Scotland's beautiful, but when I visited, there was one day of sun in the span of 10 days. So like, I don't think Scotland's known for like its climate, like Florida or something, but it's a remarkably beautiful place. Anyway, it's the kind of thing where like even when things aren't comfortable, if you have a general purpose of like my life's going to be awesome no matter what, like that can sort of push through any dark time. Right? Okay, I'm almost finished shuffling everything. I just like to have a good group of cards so we can get deep into something. Okay. And then just get one Ascended Master and one Well-Being card. Okay, yeah, cards are really jumping now. It's good. One more. Wow, okay. It was a slow start, but then things really picked up. Okay. There we go. So the first card is from the Rumi deck, Sacred Phoenix Heart, but it was upside down. I'm just going to grab the book on that. because I haven't pulled that card before. If I can find the book. Where'd you go? Oh, it's right next to me, of course. All right. 21. Okay. Under the cover of blood, love fails many rose gardens. In total faith, love tenderly guides every lover. In total faith, love tenderly guides every lover to the garden of the heart. Reason says the world is limited in 6 directions. There's no way out. Love says there is a way, and I have traveled it many times. Yeah, so despite whatever is going on, there's always like this beautiful opportunity and abundance. And it's like faith will open that door to that garden. If you think of like the book, like The Secret Garden, it's like to most people they would just see like a stone wall or whatever. But then when you open it up, it's like someone's beautiful private world of like where they grow, where they want what they want to grow in privacy. And it's like when you're in that space too, you're not seeing all of the outside world either. Like and it's like we all have that kind of secret garden like within us. And we can kind of pick and choose who we let in. But because this card was upside down, we're not doing that. Like maybe some people have forgotten like to have faith and that they do have all this like unlocked. I mean, it's locked right now maybe, but like to unlock that potential to allow like love to kind of take the wheel, because sometimes logic can run us down these really narrow paths like that end up at a brick wall where we're just being like judgy or judged and judging that. Like it just becomes really like things presenting themselves as things even. And whereas love is like a transformative energy that like allows things to open and for judgment to fall away, and like in place of curiosity, I guess you could say. So if you're feeling a bit like rigid in your mind, maybe just like find where love exists, even if it just feels like one tiny atom in your whole being. Like that's enough to kind of start this inner flame to kind of transmute like everything in you. And you could see like a really dramatic change, like even in one day by doing that. And that unlocks like all your kind of superpowers, and including connecting with your dreams and feeling like it's not so far-fetched because you're integrating with that. Okay, so that's that first card. Then we also got Ganesh like upside down. And Ganesh in this card is saying yes. And it gets kind of interesting. Like, I mean, I'm not someone that's taken even one improv class, but I did like performance art and stuff in art school, whatever. But like that sort of concept of allowing like really good comedians or improv people just sort of go with everything, like anything that the other person says, they just roll with it and expand in this kind of yes mentality. And that kind of brings joy because like you're not blocking anything. And so like allows for this incredible abundance of everything. So maybe like today's energy, you've been not saying yes to whatever, and you've not been going with the flow because maybe you think you know better than like the universe, but it's like you have to, just like you can't control the ocean in entirety, why would you try? Like instead play in the waves. And it's the same thing with the universal energy. It's like just play in waves of like whatever universe is sending you, instead of like spending all your time going like, I can't have another wave, like I can't, I can't have another storm. It's like just enjoy it, like coexisting with it, and understand that like it's not your job to control, but it's your job to find joy in all these different situations and rise to the occasion and be authentic and just like continue to say yes. I mean, I could stop there, but it's fun to read these cards, so I'll continue. But I think that's pretty like good advice for the day. Then we have fire agates, creativity. I allow the creativity of my soul to shine through into my world. So maybe you've been resisting saying yes, like even to your own energy, because you were afraid of being like living a heart-based life and being so passionate and expressive. But it's like, really, what do you have to lose? Like, when do you want to do this? When do you want to be passionate and really be yourself? Like when you're 95, or like right now? Always, So you kind of just have to make a choice and go with it. Like a lot of these like instructional manifesting videos, some of them just say like you just have to, the whole thing is like making a choice and like focusing, instead of having like broad scattered attention, like you have laser focus on, like you feel something good within you and you're like, okay, I can have that, so I'm gonna go for it. And like, even if you don't have like an exact plan of what you want to do, you can be like, I've decided that I'm creative, passionate, like worthwhile, interesting, what, like, anything you can appreciate about yourself, and just be like, my life is about celebrating me, and like other people can celebrate me with me, kind of like Eartha Kitt's wonderful interview that you can see on YouTube, where she's talking about relationships and whether she would compromise for a man. And she's like, after talking with the interviewer, she comes around and says basically like, I'm in love with me, and if somebody else wants to be in love with me as well, like great, kind of thing. Like, why would I change for somebody else? Like, why would I make myself less than, less powerful, less interesting, whatever, to please somebody? Like, why would that even be pleasing to them? Like, what kind of person is that gets pleasure from you making yourself smaller, or not in your full potential, right? So it's like, make the decision right now that like, even if you've never made a drawing or sang a song or whatever, it's like, this is your beautiful life and you're allowed to do any of those things, and you give yourself permission to be wonderful from now on, so that you can enjoy this like essential part of living. Okay, and then we have I look for more reasons to appreciate. The more I appreciate, the better I feel. The better I feel, the more I'm allowing who I am to flow through me. The more I allow who I am to flow through me, the better I feel. Yeah, because when we're kind of sabotaging ourselves or judging our own energy against what we see out in the world, and we decide like, okay, I must be less than, it's like, it's not a really, it's like having a car with no wheels. It's like, why would you take your wheels off if you want to go places and stuff. So it's like get yourself together and appreciate what, like where you're at, like that you made it to this point, and like any kind of little good decision you made between like birth and now, even if you made mistakes, like if you made some good decisions that brought you out of a problem or allowed you to express something important, like catalog that, like really pat yourself on the back and just look for all the wonderful things. Like you wouldn't want someone to come up to you and list like everything you ever did wrong in your life. You'd rather someone said like, oh, that was great when you saved that person's life, or you were so strong in this difficult situation and had grace and positivity in the face of darkness, or whatever, like whatever you might have done that was really cool. Like you'd rather someone listed all those good qualities. So be that for yourself too, where you're not like tripping yourself up. Focus on the good so that you have so you feel better, and then you feel more inclined to like keep doing good instead of keep criticizing yourself or keeping yourself stuck. So it's kind of your job, I feel like, from all these different cards to like self-love, say yes to life, say yes to yourself, like be your own best ally so that you can be this sort of multifaceted, multicolored kind of creative source in the world. And so that you can uncover this like passion instead of like hiding from it. And the way to do that is to just go like pick, like if you imagine like your whole, like all the time that you've passed as being like this pile of stuff, it's like go through the pile and pick the good things and then bring those, put those in a separate pile and like leave the rest in God's hands and just say like, okay, those were lessons, but like I want to focus on all the good steps I made, and so then I'm more inclined to take good steps forward. Okay, then we have the Son of Wands. This is from the Mother of Peace deck. Sorry if I speak quietly, like it's just how it's up. Okay, I'll let you look at this for one more second while I think about it. Yeah, I feel like you've had to be like everything to everybody, and so you feel like you almost don't know yourself because you've had so many like public disguises, and it's like one person might think they're your like main squeeze and it's really stable. Maybe you've nurtured a relationship for like a super long time and they're like 100% convinced like they're the only like major person in your life, and it might be a surprise to them that you actually have your attention in different directions because you maybe have like a brand new sort of relationship and then you have someone in the background. So it's like either it's your energy or your counterpart who has had like various relationships, maybe kind of juggling. Doesn't necessarily have to all be like sexual relationships, but could be. It's just the attention is like scattered, but you're like they're working overtime trying to make everyone feel like they're number one, and it's exhausting them. And so they kind of feel like a player and inauthentic, and they're kind of showing the worst side of themselves, like there's kind of like a horned crown on the person, so it's a bit like that kind of Capricorn like devil energy of like control and like desire based action instead of inspired. Because sometimes inspired actions, you're kind of stepping around going after desire and stuff because you kind of see the big plan and how maybe like you getting with someone or giving your time to someone doesn't really in the end benefit you or the other person. So you can just be like, okay, I see like a more direct route to what I want, and that might mean not indulging in like every opportunity that comes my way. But this Son of Wands is like indulging in every opportunity. But I feel like the awareness of the masculine energy is like, why am I doing this? It's exhausting me to be this person who's trying to be everything to everyone. And I'm just like tired and I feel like a clown. And they want to like say yes to themselves instead of yes to like everybody that likes them. Like, sure, if you walk into a new place, like a new school or a new place of work or whatever, there's going to be people who kind of scan your energy, and if there's something missing within them, they're going to want to like jump all over you and, you know, ask you about your life and your thoughts and try to augment themselves. Like this happens to me often. And in the end, like, sure, you can tell them about your life and everything that you've gone through and overcame, and but it doesn't, it's really just a story for them in the end. Like they have their own work to do, you know, and in a way, like telling them all that stuff is kind of like distracting them from listening to themselves, which in the end will satisfy them more. So sometimes it builds up resentment for the other person to like even hear about like your wisdom or your progress. So that creates a kind of frenemy type of vibe. So I would just sort of say, in terms of like being everything to everyone, like you don't have to do that, because in a way you're stealing, by giving so much energy to them, you're stealing their whole process of becoming like greater themselves. So it's kind of a waste of your time, you know. It's better to just figure out who you are authentically and focus on that, and then that's a good role model for everybody else. You're not being like cold or selfish or whatever in the process. You're just not like giving too much, and you're not spreading yourself too thin and being inauthentic, because that doesn't serve anybody, and it just makes you tired and resent people and all that jazz. Okay, so then we got a bunch of these cards. Queen of Cups, the World, the Eight of Wands, the Seven of Swords, the Eight of Swords, and the Three of Wands. Okay. So now, like, you or the other person is really sitting solid in your notion of like, I respect like the love I have in my heart and what I have to offer. Because maybe before you were like feeling scattered or like unappreciated by people, and that made me feel weaker. But now you're like, regardless, because there's no one else in this picture. It's like, I don't need other people to tell me I'm beautiful and loving. It's like, I just know it. Like, that's just who I am. And I'm sitting on this like emerald, you know, heart colored, it's like the heart chakra color throne, or jade, whatever you like. Like, perhaps it would be easier to make it, maybe there's more jade in the world than emerald to make this sort of phallus shaped throne, but whatever. So it's like passion sitting on the throne of love, not passion. It's not right. And there's like this dignity of just gazing into your own cup and going like, wow, I have so much to offer. Isn't that beautiful? because like you've ended this cycle of feeling tortured around the idea of love, and like who, you know, you're done with waiting for people to validate you about how wonderful you are and how authentic you are and what you have to offer. And so you're passing sort of through this gateway now into another version of yourself that's like where you feel beautiful and authentic, and 100% have like all this love to offer. And it's like you're not going to spend the time to explain it to everyone because you're done kind of being a clown and like over giving and over explaining. It's like either they see you for who you are and appreciate you and let you be, instead of having these like very codependent relationships where you have to constantly measure the amount of control, like how much control do they have over me and how much do I want to control them, and like it's like you're kind of done playing the clown because you respect your own heart now and you're ready for like a brand new start. You're gonna walk through this new doorway that looks different, and it's like you might feel a bit vulnerable doing that because, like in this case, when someone doesn't have clothes on, they're being like completely authentic. So maybe it's the first time in your life since childhood that you've really felt like this freedom to be yourself, and it's going to literally change your life. And it's truly like the feeling of walking through like a whole new door, and then like that world from before like closes. You can have many different experiences in your life if you make this sort of mindset change of like changing your life and like your self-perception, because your self-perception, your subconscious like dictates what you do in the day. So if you decide like, I'm done being unhealthy, I'm done doing this like routine of behaviors that has led me to a certain place, and now I'm gonna like turn it around, like, and I might not see progress in the first 3 days or 3 months even, but like there will be change because you've changed major things about yourself. So like get excited about walking through, because like this is a major arcana card. It means this is really happening. It isn't just like general energies, because there's going to be like rapid communication now coming in. It might feel a bit overwhelming, like all these different opinions. Maybe it's like your opinions too, like expressing to people like a new passionate direction, or like having this discussion about like where you're at and where you're going. And to some people it might feel like this sort of spiral in the background, like, oh my, like what, I don't know what to do with that. And the reason why like people have confusion at all is because they have disconnect from their intuition. And your intuition is kind of like this blanket that just covers everything and connects everything. And when you're like kind of living under this blanket of wisdom, which isn't the type of blanket where it makes it dark or whatever, I'm just sort of saying like it's all like it's over everything. Like, then you don't have confusion because you can see where everything connects and makes sense. And you're like let's say someone breaks up with you, some other person might spend years or a lifetime in this kind of background spiral of confusion. And then there's some people who are like, okay, I get it. Like, I get how this doesn't make sense and how I'm ready for a new start. And like, you don't have all the answers right before you at that moment, but you just have a general sense of like, yeah, I can see how moving on at this point would, make some kind of logic. And, so there's like two different ways of seeing, I feel like, presented in this card, where you're just like going for it and making new plans and doing different stuff. And there might be some people like who you had kind of codependent relationships with, or you're being kind of inauthentic with, who are going to be in the spiral of like, what? I thought I was like number one in your life. Like, I was used to just draining your energy and your thoughts all the time. And now what am I supposed to think? Like, I need to replace all this stuff you were telling me and all the support you gave me now. And I'm not used to being that strong person for myself. So I'm confused, and I'm going to like make you feel bad for like leaving that post of like being my brain and my inspiration and my source of love. And it's like, no, dude, like you need to be your own passionate ambassador and like caregiver and stuff. So it's not going to stop you, because like you're, there's a brand new beginning, that you're walking through this kind of port gateway into something new, because you like yourself enough, you feel the value of your own heart and your own life so much that it's kind of like it's a done deal. And it's like, sure, like some people are not going to be super excited about the fact that you're removed, like you're kind of unplugging them from your tireless efforts. But it's like you kind of need to do that in order to move on, because like it's just felt like a battle and you're exhausted from the battle. It's like, well, I'll take this. There's a sense of having to kind of sneak off away from these situations that were just causing like fights and like over texting or whatever these communication symbols are with that are multiple, So it's kind of like the war is over and you're kind of just okay, we're done fighting, and I'm walking away with what I learned, and you might not be super excited about that. But those were the energies of those interactions, and it is what it is, and it's made it so that all that suffering and over communication was just blinding you to what you want, because it was just like too much. It was overwhelming, and you felt kind of stuck behind this sort of prison of discussions and control and stuff from other people in your life. But like all you really have to do is take that mask off. It's funny to even say the word mask like in 2020, but like it's like an eye mask, not a mouth and nose one. But once this mask is off, you can kind of like untie yourself and just walk away from these swords and say like, that was then. It's kind of like if you see these swords as like trees or something, like if you've ever been on a hike in the woods, it's like in your mind, you can remember that hike and you can remember those trees you saw, but you're not like carrying them with you into every day. It's just like an experience you had. And so I get the sense of like, yeah, that wasn't fun, but it's like that was that forest, and now I'm gonna walk away like into, like I'm gonna walk away from that and like speak my mind regardless, because I respect myself, because I'm having a brand new beginning, and it's not gonna be in this kind of vibe anymore. Like I'm not gonna let people trap me and make me frozen in this way with all of their, everybody has a completely different life, completely different soul purpose, and sometimes you can not be in sync with other people, and it's like, don't beat yourself up about that. Like you just need to either enjoy working on your own and developing yourself, and then you attract new friendships and alliances or relationships, and don't be like trying to always work on transforming something that's not working for whatever reason. Like you always have to go back to center and love yourself up and really figure out like, what's my energy? what's beautiful about who I am. Even if, like I said, even if you feel like it's just one atom in your whole being that's good, let that expand, let that light like overtake all of you, even surpassing you, and connecting with all that is. And it's that's the reality. Okay, because now you're like looking forward to your passionate new beginning, and if you focus on it, it's gonna come to you. It's not there right now, but you just know it's coming because you called out for it and you have the vision that like you can have something. It's like I've been saying in all these videos lately, you have this kind of heaven within your imagination or your heart space, and it's like that's your gift, and it's up to you to connect with it to receive your gifts. It's like having a Christmas tree with tons of presents under it, all year round, but you just keep walking by it going like, oh, that couldn't possibly be for me because it's too fun or exciting. But it's like, no, open those presents, like go into your imagination, like examine the beautiful things you imagine that you want or that you could have potentially. It's like if you say to family members or friends that have known you for a long time, it's like, I think I could do this cool thing, like start a business, invent something, be creative. And then people are like, haha, like you've never done that before. Why do you like, oh, it's so much harder than whatever. But like if you can see it in your imagination, it's like you've been given a VIP like backstage pass to that thing, and like it's a done deal. Like you're allowed, if you can picture it, you're allowed to, like if it's a good thing. I want you to focus on good things that are like good for you and good for other people. Because you can perceive any number of things, but like the really positive ones I want to encourage you to connect with, and just feel like it's a given. Like if it's inside of you, like it's there. Like you wouldn't be able to perceive it if it wasn't like a possibility. So if you just kind of go feeling into that mindset, feeling protected, like divinely encouraged, and that it's just one way or the other, it's going to work out, then you have this like optimistic vision towards the future where you're like, these passions I have are going to be fulfilled, and it's my focus and vision that's going to make it happen and bring these like ships into my harbor, as it were. Okay, so then we have like this deck always makes me laugh. Tarot Sexual Magic deck. So we have can't read that. We have the Hermit. So yeah, like I was saying before, like when you were kind of feeling like a clown, like a player, like your energy was kind of scattered to different people. Sorry, it's a bit cold because it's like almost winter here in Montreal, and I feel a sneeze is gonna happen, so it may happen, it may not. If you're worried to have COVID, I already had it in February. Okay, so then, okay. Yeah, so instead of being this like player character, like I was saying before, instead of just jumping on every opportunity, you're cool with like letting some situations pass. It's like, I don't need to jump on everybody that comes my way, because like it's really important for me at this time to respect my heart and like be doing the right actions so that I'm like really walking through to something new that I want, like a new kind of life. And that means like not getting all wrapped up in like other people's stuff all the time. and feeling sort of trapped. Like right now, like these guys are having fun, but like who knows what kind of texting or like persuasive kind of manipulation can go on like afterwards. I'm not saying like all romance is terrible. It's not. But like the only way to kind of guide yourself through romance, because like you're dealing with another human being who might be like human beings, unless they're like fully meditating like 24/7, they can sometimes do things that are not like in perfection, you know? So it's up to you to kind of always maintain your heart strength and your vision towards where you want to go, and not necessarily let like getting with people or entwine with people in whatever way like sabotage your clarity. You can still have romance and stuff, but do it from a place of strength instead of just like getting into like whatever just because it's there. So you might be like not indulging in relationships as much as you used to, not like communicating as much as you used to. Okay, I was just like trying to read the message, but I guess it was withdrawn. Okay, so then we have the High Priestess. Okay, I'll let you look at this card for a second. Yeah, so it's like your energy right now is like really solidly like I'm taking the time to gain my own wisdom and strength and beauty, you know? It's like the masculine energy, which could be in any gender, and you're just deciding not to like go for it in like certain with you're being more selective and you're choosing yourself first, and then whatever complements that, fine, but you're not just like taking whatever, because you're enjoying being this like empowered version of yourself where you're, instead of just dealing with like whatever comes along like this, your starting point is from within and like embracing your own energies and your own powers and like what that brings you, and your kind of communion with the universe, which is allowing you to like have these like really special transformations and experiences and brings you closer to yourself. It's like when you do this inner work, you kind of like fall in love with yourself, similar to how like the universe loves you. And it's kind of like shocking and wonderful and like very humbling experience when you can finally sense that. But you do have to like take the time to spend with yourself, sort of when you're not being overburdened with everybody else's like talk and criticism and stuff like that, because that blinds you to like your true nature. So it's kind of like today's energy, or like whenever you happen to watch this video, is about that, like embracing the self and like how much you're loved by source energy, like by the universe. Yeah, and then when you embrace that power, when you sit on the throne of your heart and appreciate it kind of solo first, then it's like this key that opens this door to like beautiful new things, opportunities, and you're not just being this like scattered clown anymore, like trying to please everybody all at once. Can I just have like 5 more cards I'll go through? So we have the Nine of Swords. I'll just let you look at it for a second. So yeah, we had like 7 of Swords, 8 of Swords, and the 9 of Swords. So you're like so done. Like you're done with all this conflict and just feeling like your sword is crossed with other people's in this kind of, and your swords are all bent from all the fighting and stuff. Like, and you don't even know what's what anymore. Like even the main sword in the middle is all bent and has this kind of black energy on top of it that feels like a uncomfortable vortex of confusion. So this is not a fun energy to be in, and it's completely against this incredible authenticity and sitting in your power and stuff. So it's like people are great and everything, but like if we put all our I'm forgetting like some of my old timey sayings right now, but like when you put in all your something in a basket, whatever, eggs, I guess. If you put all your eggs in the other people basket instead of like first communing with the universe and understanding your own energies, like in the high priestess or the hermit energy, then you're just gonna always be at odds with people. So it's like a little bit of homework for you to start your day in the right place. Like start every morning with like, I love myself, from this place of knowing that I'm loved by the universe, and my main job is like expressing my authentic self and respecting my heart. Then I'm not gonna like get up into these situations of being at odds with people, because like you're kind of untouchable at that point. It can't create conflict because like you're not fighting over the last scrap with people, like because you feel full. Like look how full and strong this person feels. Like she's not going around begging people like, oh please love me. Like no, it's all within. So you're not going around fighting and begging and clashing with people with that mindset. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles. Like that brings about total fulfillment in materially, even like this is like the earth-based total fulfillment. So like some people can go through life thinking like, oh, if I only was with someone who had like a high credit score, or like, you know, was persuasive or popular, you know, that's not actually what's going to bring you this peace, transformation, and total fulfillment. It starts with yourself and becoming like the high priestess, becoming the hermit. Like you're comfortable with your own thoughts, you're comfortable with your own energies, you're comfortable being authentic and moving forward in your life, you're comfortable with your own heart. Like whatever you've been through, like if there's an ounce of goodness in you, you can let that ounce kind of take over and then bring you to this place of like feeling completely fulfilled. And that can mean also with somebody. It's like you create all these 9 sort of solid pentacles, all these achievements, and then like someone can join you in that and create this like complete fulfillment, so that you're not depending on other people to like bring it all home to you. Because like even if you end up with someone who's like has a lot of material gain, that doesn't guarantee happiness. Like there's a million and one stories about like people marrying well, so to speak, who have miserable lives and stuff. But it's like, what's going to make you happy is feeling connected and fulfilled within yourself, and then enjoying that with somebody else who hopefully is also doing that same work on themselves. And then when you're in that awesome living energy where you, okay, that's really loud. Okay, I'll get back to that. Right, because like the universe is giving you like a brand new opportunity for love, and it's like instead of being distracted with like everything that didn't work before, guarantee if you're a human being on earth, every past relationship is going to feel like that, and every new opportunity, like you know, it will be transformative. So it's like, don't beat yourself up over feeling like a failure. Like, failure is just, don't think of failure as negative. It's just like energies that express themselves in certain ways that either felt like encouraging or like a stop go kind of thing. Like, you don't have to be really judgy about like why things didn't work out. Like, oh no, they didn't choose me. It's like, maybe it's because like the universe had a better plan. And it's like, stop being so controlling and judgy and over glamorizing these past situations. Like, there's more than 7 billion people in the world. Like, I think the universe can probably choose someone better, so you're not like recycling old energy or like texting your exes or whatever this guy's doing here. Because you're right now maybe ignoring the newness that I was talking about, like, because you weren't saying yes. But now we know that we should say yes to the universe and like go with the flow and have an open mind enough to create something new and like walk into a new situation. And even though we might not feel like we have everything figured out, we're going to be like, okay, I'm passionate enough that I'm ready for something new and exciting, you know, because we have again the 10 of Pentacles, because that's going to bring about like total fulfillment. So that feeling stuck energy and depending on other people and like going over old conflicts, that is super blocking you from moving forward passionately towards, like, you were so close to total fulfillment. It's nuts because we got that card twice. It's just like, get over this mindset of like the case of the blahs, you know, stop being a clown, stop being a player, stop like overextending yourself and being everything to everyone when you just really need to be enjoying yourself, your energies. Like, your greatest gift to the world is being your authentic self, you know, and that looks like this. That looks like, I love myself, I support my heart, you know, I'm willing and brave enough to transform. I'm comfortable with discovering what my like own energies are and how that works. I'm done with living this life of conflict and butting heads, because I'm okay with like taking the time to be in my own thoughts and not like just randomly jump on every opportunity. Like, just because people smile at you doesn't mean you owe them like 6 hours of your life. Like, you don't owe people this feeling of being imprisoned and like blinded to what you truly are or what you truly want. Like, you know, it's important for you to nurture your vision for what you want to come forward, and it's okay to communicate that even if it causes confusion to people, because like, you're done fighting and people might see you as like someone who just like took off, but it's like, you can't spend the rest of your life like explaining everything to everyone. Like, everyone has their own duty of like developing themselves and taking right action, and sometimes right action is like not staying in something that is inauthentic or draining or painful for you. And stay positive and count your blessings so that you can like live in this like passionate world of your kind of secret garden, as it were, like your paradise within yourself, and just declare like, the things that I see that are beautiful within me are real, you know, and live towards that, and your actions will line up with that, and you'll find yourself walking into a beautiful life. Sorry, my dog is like under the duvet barking, like he's gonna emerge. Hi. You can see him. He's so tiny. He really likes the cat. But sometimes the cat swipes at him. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. If you're interested in having a distance healing session over like video chat, which includes the psychic reading of, I can do like a sliding scale of time if you're on a budget. Just contact me and see what we can arrange if you're interested. I work really quickly, and you can see on my testimonials page like how my clients feel after the session and what they experienced and how helpful it was. I had one testimonial recently where she said that 1 hour with me was equivalent to 3 years of going to counseling and stuff. So that was really sweet of her to express that, and I'm glad that was her experience. And what else do I want to say? It really helps my channel too if you press subscribe. Like, because once I reach 1,000, I guess YouTube pays you for ads and stuff, which helps support my channel, which is cool. So anyway, I'll take care, guys. I hope that this reading like brought you some peace and encouragement, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.